Today, we're going to answer a viewer's question. Not only that, we're going to react to Smash JT's phone call with Tommy Tallarico. Oh, the content, the fix. It's a never-ending story. This is just the beginning, guys. I'm telling you, nothing's over. Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. The Intellivision Amico is a tour de force, a real tour de force on what not to do in business and teaching us a lot about business, and that's where we're going to focus on today. You know, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't do in business, and one of them is kind of argue with your investors. Today we're going to do two things. We're going to answer a viewer's question regarding why buy a failing business, and we're going to react to Smash JT's video of today where he said, you know, he had a phone call with the ex-CEO of the company. Now, without getting into the particulars, let's just focus on the business things that happen here that you should be focused on, that you personally should never do if you're ever CEO of a company. One of them is tell an investor you can't trust them and have that investor repeat that out loud anywhere. They trusted you with 10 grand and now you're going to tell them you can't trust them. They trusted you with money and you haven't delivered shit. And then you're going to tell them, I can't trust you, man. Let me tell you this, you know, Smash JT, you know, any investor, it doesn't matter if it's him or anybody that invests 10 grand, should be pissed. Let me tell you this, if I had invested 10 grand in a company and some guy that I invested with is telling me he can't trust me, oh, that shit wouldn't go so smooth, let me tell you. But that's neither here nor there. And I think most people would be a lot angrier for 10 grand. Must be nice to have that kind of money, but hey, I'm just a regular guy, right? But let me tell you this, when you're going to engage in a phone call, you know, with Smash JT, it really shows that this is just incompetence, guys. There is no way that this is a planned scam, and let me tell you why. Basically, the phone call, if you want to put it down, you know, to its base root, is just this. Hey, Smash, you're going to do this to me? You're going to do this to me? Sound like my uncle, sound like my grandpa. He used to say, todo de testa. Oh, yeah. That's dickhead, by the way, in Italian. It's just inconceivable that you would do that. Let me tell you this. This looks like it's going to be a fire sale, and I'll button it up for you at the end here, okay? So when you're going to do a fire sale, you want to make sure everybody's quiet. You don't want these guys screwing up your mojo. You're about to do a deal here with your acquirers, and by the way, the only time you ever use that word, really, is when you're going to merge or sell the company. That's the only times you do this kind of shit. But anyway, you want those things buttoned up. Any professional company does that. Now, how could you do it, right? How could you approach it? Like if you needed to, for example, if there was an investor out there that you wanted to keep quiet before you sold this thing, you know he's upset, he couldn't get his money, he didn't get his product, and he's pissed. You need to shut him up. You're dealing with millions of dollars here, and you're going to screw it up over 10 grand? These guys are either real petty, because some of them are millionaires, or they're broke as fuck. There's just the two answers, because you're not going to screw up a deal for 10 grand. Here you have Smash JT making these videos. They're not making the company per se look bad, they're making the principals look bad. The guys that are making the deals look terrible, right? Which puts them in a lower and lower position to negotiate, because you know these companies already know that these guys failed to deliver. They have no credibility in the market right now. And this is just making it worse. What should have happened, what usually happens in this kind of cases, is when you're going to make that phone call, you don't put that phone down until you make sure that that person is going to be quiet. Now, if it's an investor, you can't just give them their money back. That's just not the way this works. What could you do? Let's say you're in this situation. You're in the situation of Mr. Tallarico, right? Or the situation of in television, you can do this real smooth. Real smooth. You call them up and say this. Hello, Mr. YouTuber. You know, I know we haven't performed, but I really wanted to get together and talk. Not this emotional, you know, bullshit of we're friends, you can't do this to me, and I never lied to you. And of course they have, because it's business. That's part of business, unfortunately, is to stretch the truth or omit the facts at certain points. But let me get back to the phone call. And you say this, look, we haven't performed as well as we have to, and you're making some great points. You know, what we've been thinking about over here is to bring you on the team. So, you know, we can work together and you can tell us how to improve in certain areas. You can do this with your haters, by the way. Okay, and yeah, so come down, let's talk, let us show you what we're working on. And that deal, what you do is basically you give him his money back through salary, right? And then on top of that, since he's now your employee, you can shut him up through an NDA. He gets his money, he's happy. You get him to shut him up, you shut him up, he's happy, and then you move forward, right? That's the way you do it. You don't want to make that phone call, not offer him anything of value, and then just hang up and let him make more YouTube videos validating exactly what the criticisms are. You know, I mean, Smash AT could really work these guys, and he doesn't. You know, and any investor that has any inside knowledge could do the same. But he doesn't, and he couldn't give them anything of worth to say, what happened with this, or we're working on that. Anything solid, nothing, right? And why does it need to be a quiet period? This is where I'm going to answer the viewer's question, right? Why would you want to buy a failing company? Oh, the time of year has everything to do with it. A lot of companies end their fiscal year on March 31st. That's why it's a quiet period, right? If you're doing an acquisition and a fire sale, right? This is commonplace. Why would you want to buy the company? Only two reasons, right? There's usually only two reasons that pique your interest. The first one is the company has developed some valuable IPs, which I believe to be the case in this situation, that you think that if you purchased would make your company stronger. So 1 + 1 would equal 3, right? Where in the case of Intellivision right now, 1 + 1 no longer equal 2, because their two ones are very devalued. And I'll give you a perfect example. Google bought Waze, right? Why did they buy Waze? Did they need Waze? They already had Google Maps. No, they didn't. The only reason they bought Waze is to keep them away from Apple. That's it. That's why they bought them, right? In this tier of company, don't think that Intellivision, for example, would be a good suitor or a good buy, for example, for Microsoft or Nintendo or Sony. Those are not probably the suitors for this company. More likely it'd be somebody like Evercade, like Blaze Entertainment, and the new Atari, right? Because these are the three competitors. Now we only have two left, because for all practical purposes, we can say right now that Intellivision pretty much has failed, right? But if you add those IPs to one or the other, that company would become stronger, right? Can you imagine, instead of Atari Entertainment or whatever they're called, Atari Vision, right? Would be one company. Or Intellicade, you know, I mean, some merger of that type. That company would have more IPs and more claim to fame to the retro reimagined type stuff, right? Because you don't know exactly what's going on in the background, but that's what they're negotiating right now with whoever they're negotiating. That would be more plausible, right? And what do you get on top of that? What other benefit could you get on top of that? And why is this timing so important? Because let's say you made, I don't know, I'm just going to give you, hypotheticals here. Let's say I own this company, whether it's Evercade or Atari, whatever, okay? And I made $50 million, which puts me over a certain tax bracket. Oh shit, I got to pay all these taxes. It's like 50% tax right now. I'm exaggerating, but I'm just giving you an example. So you buy a television that lost $8 million. whatever the case may be. Now you can take that off the top because you merged it, you created it into something new, whatever. And you say, well, now I'm going to make my tax, it's no longer 50 million, it's 42 million, right? And I'm just putting it in layman's terms. I'm being very simplistic so everybody can understand. If you want to research this stuff, go right ahead, but I'm just giving you the gist of it, right? So now it's December 31st, you get to make your taxes. You're going to make it with a write-off because you want to close this deal before you file your taxes, right? So now, guess what happens? On December 31st, these companies close their books. The new company that bought them on April 15th or whenever they're going to do their taxes, they say, look, these are our new taxes. These are our losses. As soon as they purchase the company, okay? As soon as they purchase the company, all those losses, all that overhead, all those employees, you look at them right in the eye because you don't want to waste any more money and you say, get the fuck out. So you actually never, on your new company, you're not paying any of them. That's from the old company. April 1st, they're just cleaning out their desks. You want them the hell out of there on the 30th, you want them out of there, whenever the date is, right? Because you're going to claim that loss, but you don't want to keep incurring these expenses, that has, been mismanaged. Not only that, there's other benefits. You may want some of the talent in there. Well, why? If they failed to do, whatever they do, right? Well, if you're a foreign company, for example, there are some benefits in having a lot of minorities in your company. There's some, incentives. Maybe some people with disabilities. You don't know. Maybe you're a foreigner. You don't know our laws here. But now you found out that if you have certain kind of employees, you might get tax breaks, right? So let's say you need a Hispanic guy, right? Now you're looking at John Alvarado going, my man, look at him. Yeah, you're going to be our new, VP of Research and Development. Whatever. You can take some of the better talent from the company. You don't want any of the loan sharks there. Get rid of those fools right away, right? But you take the best pieces of the company, right? And you bring them in, and of course you slice off all the bad. That's the part that you're going to BK. You're going to BK anything that has a liability to it, but you want those IPs. You want to license those IPs to the new company, or you want to buy those IPs, and now you have a stronger company. Would Evercade be stronger within television? Yeah, a little bit stronger. I mean, there's some decent IPs there, right? Would Atari be better within television? Yeah, of course. Those are the type of companies that would be interested in this. They should be interested in this. But you're going to be buying it for a song, and that's the reason why you would buy these things. There's other things, of course. It could be that the company needs what do they call them? Emission credits, for pollution, stuff like that. If you buy a new company, you get their credits. Maybe you're a little bit over on yours. There's all kinds of ways you can structure the deal to make it beneficial for your company, but it's mostly because you're acquiring certain assets from that company that you believe will make your company better, or will really hurt your competition, on top of the tax benefits that I already explained. But yeah, another great, interesting day at Intellivision. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I'm not canceling. I'm no quitter. I heard a lot of you are getting refunds, not me. I'm writing it all the way down. There is no tomorrow. I'm staying with this. Guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.